What's going on, everybody, and welcome to a video slash tutorial on I'm just going to be poking around the Carla library thing. If you're not familiar with Carla, I don't imagine many of you guys are. It's an open source simulator for autonomous driving research. Okay, so basically what it does is creates a simulated environment specifically dedicated toward people who want to train self-driving cars. So historically, I've always used Grand Theft Auto for my shenanigans, but this has certain benefits over that because it's just basically built from the ground up to have an API for you to do all kinds of automated trial and error kind of stuff. And so it just kind of makes sense. The last time I looked into it was like 2 years ago, and I don't think I even got off the ground with it. I forget exactly the issue. I think I could run the simulation but not connect to it or something. It was some sort of strange thing going on there. So I thought I would take another look into this kind of package here and then share with you guys the steps that I take whenever I'm visiting some new library. Because I pretty much, like, I understand what Carla is, but I've really never worked with it because, like I said, I couldn't even get the basic thing to like run. So I'm going to try that again. If it works, you'll see this video. If it doesn't work, you won't know about this video. So if you're seeing it, hey, it worked. Okay, so I land on Carla. Okay, the first thing I want to do is just go to get started. I already kind of know what Carla does. It might be useful to read this though. Like here you can see that you can have like a server with multiple clients that connect, so you can run multiple agents at any given time. The other thing that I noticed was basically there's like remote connection now, which is pretty cool. You can disable rendering of the simulation, which I guess both for client and server would be quicker, so you could run things quicker. You don't necessarily have to run in real time. So okay, pretty cool. I don't know anything about, I've never used the robot operating system, but that's pretty cool too that they have some sort of bridge there. Like, that's kind of interesting that, you know, you could even test that kind of stuff. So if you wanted to use that with self-driving cars, that's pretty cool too. So they also apparently have some autonomous driving baselines. That's also interesting. I might want to check those out just to see how they do a couple of things, because you definitely want things to be as efficient and clean as possible. So I'll be looking into that. Obviously, for me, I'd like to do self-driving, so I kind of want to poke around and play with all the stuff that they have here. And then they also have like cameras and different sensors like LiDAR and stuff like that, so those are pretty cool too. So anyways, let's go ahead and get started. So I click on Get Started. Just going to try to make sure this fits to my page here. And at least here they're saying, hey, make sure you're using 9 or greater. Okay, got it. Chickadee check. Grab a release. So just as a caveat, this does use Unreal Engine 4. I'm just going to be straight with you guys. I don't know anything about Unreal Engine 4 other than it's a game engine. Okay, and I might even be wrong about that. So I know I've done some stuff in the past to run this, so I don't know if they can include all the files from Unreal Engine 4 and like that's gonna make the game run or something. So like I always try to think, like, do I have things pre-installed that would make things different for me as opposed to people watching this? So I'm actually doing this on my main computer, so I might have some things already here that you don't have, so just keep that in mind. So I'm gonna go ahead and click on the latest release. I don't really think I want the nightly build. So from here, the latest stable version is 08, and then all these, that sounds like a long time ago. I wonder why that's the most stable version. Yeah, it's been over like 6 months since a stable version. It's kind of weird. And at least it looks like here, engine, new agent class to perform client side. It sounds like these are some pretty important updates. So I don't think we want the latest stable version. Let's just go with the latest version. What? It gave me like 1 second to load this page. Are you kidding? Thanks, idiot. Okay, so that couldn't possibly have been a proper error. Anyway, Windows, please. No Windows. I'm pretty sure they have Windows support. I'm trying to use Windows. I know some people are like, why aren't you using Linux? Because I can record in Windows better. Whenever you see me using Linux, I'm usually recording. I'm using Windows still to record because I do my recording and editing on Windows, so it's just easier if I'm on Windows. Okay, but I use Linux all the time. Don't worry, I'm okay. I'm gonna survive. So I usually use a virtual machine, but in this case, I don't want to use a virtual machine because the VMs are kind of a pain in the butt whenever you have full screen applications. So I really want Windows. Let's see if the Carla... I'm getting a little sick and tired of your shenanigans. Okay, so it does have Windows here. It's experimental. Awesome. How about this one? Someone better... Yes. Okay, cool. New town. Environment with narrow roads. Open Drive Parser and Waypoints API. Cool. Okay, so I'm just going to download this one. If you're on Linux, you can download these other things. And I guess I'm just hoping there's the Windows-based towns. I'd have to imagine... I'd have to imagine that the towns are probably cross-platform. Like, I can't imagine why the town would be operating system specific, honestly. But okay, so this is going to take apparently a minute. While we wait on that, I mean, we could just kind of check out what we're dealing with here. So, looks like we want to have Pygame and NumPy installed. I already have both of those, so make sure you do too. Then to run it, it looks like we just run the exe file, and then on Linux you would just run the shell. This launches a view over the city. This is the spectator view. So it sounds like yeah, they have more of like a client and server. So then you got the server. I'm guessing this is more like your server view, and then later any other scripts you're gonna have will be your client. And I don't know if they're gonna show a window or if they're just gonna simply like connect in and then you grab stuff from the sensors. I don't really know. We'll find out. Okay, Carla requires these 2 TCP ports. Make sure if you're having issues, you might need to open those. Cool, got it. Also, Carla port N. Okay. And then the second port is N+1, so you could change it, I guess. Okay, so to add life to the city, we are going to run spawn npc. So again, it just sounds like there's a lot of this like server client. That's kind of weird though, because I wonder if you can just like start the simulation with NPCs. But okay, so it sounds like it'll just be the city. And then we can change the weather. So definitely with the Python self-driving car, like if you're using a camera as your primary sensor, you definitely want to have dynamic weather, because otherwise like slight changes are going to just totally throw you off. If you're doing like LiDAR, I don't know. I don't think it would really impact it, to be honest with you guys. And then finally they run this, which is probably your client, and I guess they're using Pygame, because this is Pygame. So it looks like it's going to open another window. So that would be like your client window. So you'll have at least 2 windows open if you're using the same machine. But what's kind of cool is, yeah, you can connect to a server. So Python manual control, and then with the host argument, you can pass in the host IP, which sounds like in the future, I could probably host a server for people to bring in their self-driving cars. And I wonder what kind of load, like what kind of GPU load you have on the server versus on the client side. Especially like what if all you're trying to pull is maybe LiDAR data or something like that, or maybe the imagery at a low resolution. I wonder how that would go. Okay, so it looks like our thing has DL'd. Let me go ahead and start the extraction process. Hopefully that doesn't take too long. And I think the first thing I'd want to do, so like generally, I'm always like, I mean, the APIs are useful if they have good documentation, but usually places don't. So let's go ahead and click on the Python API reference. Yeah, so that's basically, you know, the index of a book. Pretty not useful to an amateur newbie like me. Overview, useless, Python API tutorial. Okay, so maybe this has a little bit of interesting information for us. What is that? Oh, that was dinging at me because of the, let me just mute this real quick. Okay, so we've extracted everything. So now what we can do, I'll probably check out Python API, but first let me just finish reading what I was reading here. So in this tutorial, blah, blah, blah. Yes, yes, yes. Copy that. Okay, so it looks like they're kind of separating out core concepts. I'm going to guess these are objects. You've got actor, blueprint, and world. Actor is anything that plays a role in the simulation. So vehicles, pedestrians, in sensors. A sensor is an actor. Okay. Blueprint. Before spawning an actor, you need to specify the attributes. We provide a blueprint library with the definitions of all actors available. I don't know if that means like they have defaults. I hope. World represents the currently loaded map. So you can like probably reference the world, although I'm just not really sure why you would do that other than maybe initially for some reason, but to change whether... Oh, okay, so the world is more of probably server type task is my guess. Because I'm thinking probably your actor is what you would reference for like sensor values, right? Because that's basically at the end of the day, we want to move the vehicle based on the vehicle actor based on the sensor actor data. Okay, so this is starting to look more like the raw code. So the first thing that I want to do is test out those initial commands that we had. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is run lovely. We do have the exe. Fantastic. So like for example, UE4, like do binaries and content and then engine binaries. So maybe you don't have to install Unreal Engine 4. I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm an idiot. Okay. So far, so good. Oh, okay. Okay. My GPU is starting to make some noise. Let me move this over as much as I can anyway. You can't really see the full screen, but that should be good enough for demo purposes. Maybe at some point I'll fix that. Okay, looks a little lonely in this city. Some sort of evacuation has taken place. Okay, we can use our WASD keys to move around. We are flying. Okay, yeah, there's definitely nobody here, but I think that was what was to be expected because apparently we have to load in the NPCs. So let's go here. Spawn NPC 80. Python spawn NPC.py. I am an expert Python programmer, and I know that's not going to work here. I'm going to guess maybe they're in Python API. Carla, maybe? No. See, agents? No, probably not. No. Back it up. Back it up. Let's go into examples. Let me move this over to manual control steering wheel. Hold on. Sorry, I'm getting sidetracked, but I got to see it. What? I'm still looking for a steering wheel. Like, what does that mean? I must have scrolled by it. Anyway, I'm curious to know, can I plug in a steering wheel? Someone answer that for me. No rendering mode example. That's pretty cool. I need to stop getting distracted. Where was I going? Spawn NPC. Okay, so here is spawn NPC. Cool. So let's go ahead and run that real quick. Python spawn npc.py, and then it was N80. No module named Carla. So if I go to Carla, then I click here, and then go to dist, for example. Yeah. So it is here. Oh, okay. So the problem is here, it's looking for Python 3. Like this is for Python 3.7. And for me, Python corresponds to 3.6. So, so let me just try that real quick. So let's just say py-37 spawn npc.py n80. See if that works. 80 vehicles, cool. Okay, so that does work. And I guess they're probably using a directory change. Let me just check that real quick. Spawn npc, open with, sublime. Yeah, right. Yep, right here. Cool. Okay. So then it looks for the specific version of Python that we're using. That's why I couldn't find it. So that's pretty impressive. They are already updated to 3.7. Cool. Very good. And we have cars. Very cool. I believe at this point I'm already further than I've ever been with Carla, because I couldn't get this far. Cool. That's awesome. Okay. I want more cars. What happens here? Control C to exit. Oh dear. The whole thing just crashed because I left my NPCs. Okay. Fine. I can deal with that. Let's just run it again. That's funny. Get up there. Get up there. Cool. There goes my GPU. Can hear it. It's crying a little bit, which is funny because this does not appear to be a GPU intensive thing, but apparently it is. That's why those AAA titles get paid the big bucks. Okay, so, and just for the record, I could not do any better. I would do way worse. I would write the most inefficient games possible. Okay, so 80 was too few. I'm going to do, oh, you can't see it. I'm going to do 250 NPCs. I think that's enough. Oh, but could only find 200 spawn points. So I wonder if I run it again, though. That's a lot of cars, though. It would be hard to drive in this as it is. But I'm curious. Oops. Python API examples. This really is my methodology. Spawn NPC and let's just do. I'm so used to 80. Let's just do another. Let's see if we can get away with 80. I guess. Let's see what happens. Can we do spawned? Yeah, because collision at the spawn location. But otherwise, we got some more. Ah, yes. Beautiful. That's pretty cool. I'm having way too much fun spawning NPCs. Okay, what were the other commands? Okay, so we got NPCs. Okay, dynamic weather. That's probably a good idea in the self-driving car series with Grand Theft Auto. Like, especially if you're relying primarily on a camera sensor, you definitely want to use dynamic weather because the camera. Let's just run this real quick. The if the sun goes down, like obviously the day and night difference, but also like clouds, rain, wind, it affects things like shadow. I'm not sure what wind is doing. I'm not sure how crazy of a physics simulation we're dealing with here. I can't imagine wind has a huge impact here, but I don't know. That would be pretty amazing if wind actually has an impact here. I didn't know this was truly a driving sim. Okay, what was the other thing? Oh, manual control. Absolutely. Let's try that one out. Pi-37. Get rid of this space. Manual control. Oh, we were so close, everybody. Okay. Index error. Oh, you can't see the error. Let me look at this here. Although maybe you got the same error. Index error. List index out of range. And it's out of range because of this line here. And the only thing that's indexing list is here. So fonts would therefore have to be an empty list. So now we need to find out, why is fonts an empty list? Manual control. Let's check it out. Let's check it out together, everybody. Okay, so what we're looking for is, let me just search for mono. Fonts. Okay, so fonts was our empty list. So x for x in pygame.font.getFonts. So either pygame font get fonts is empty, or the more likely Occam's razor. If mono in x, I'm gonna wager. So what the heck is this? It's only looking for mono fonts. So I'm guessing we don't have mono. What if I do Arial? Mono fonts. That's fine. We can leave. let me just fix it real quick. So let's just do a find and replace. So mono, and then let me pull this up here. We'll replace all cases of mono with Arial, which is probably gonna, it could mess up some other stuff actually, but we'll see what happens. And then what did I? Yeah, Ubuntu. Hey, they said experimental. They did. They warned us. Okay. But we've made it so far. I'm going to wager a fonts issue. I'm going to let that slide. Let's just run this again. Pi37 manual control.py. Come on. Here we go. We got a window. Let me fix where it is here. Beautiful on this horribly rainy day. Okay. Again, WASD controls. I'm not sure. Okay. Yeah, we are. Oh! That's good. Dang. Oh, we collided with them. How do I reverse? How do I reverse? Didn't they show? Yeah, okay, here we go. So here we have our commands. Throttle brake, toggle reverse is Q. So we're actually changing a gear. Fancy. Space. That's pretty good though to separate out. That was one thing I didn't really like so much about Grand Theft Auto is, you know, what S was both reverse if you held it long enough, but also a brake. Didn't really make much sense. PM toggle autopilot with P. Interesting. Toggle manual transmission. Awesome. I can't imagine, why would you want to do a self-driving car with a manual transmission? That makes no sense, but okay. Change vehicle with a backspace. Heck yes. Record image to disk. Cool. Sounds good. Probably screwed it up by highlighting. Okay. So let's continue on our path. So Q to reverse. Ooh. Q to unreverse. And we're off. Let's just thread the... Are you kidding? There was definitely space. Y'all got to fix your hitboxes. Let's go! Yes! I made it. Okay. Okay, so one thing I'm noticing here is, yeah, right at the bottom, you can see it's noting when you I crossed a broken line. So that's like the dashed lines like here. Can you see the map? Yes. So now let me go, let's cross that and then cross that. Oh, we didn't. Oh, now it tells you. Okay, so we crossed a solid line, then when we went back, it's probably going to alert us again. Let's cross over this median. Ooh, oh, we just collided. Oh, that's cool too. It shows the collision there. I'm getting good at shifting gears now, guys. Okay, let's cross over this. Solid sidewalk. You're calling that a sidewalk? I don't think so. Nobody should be walking on that sidewalk. Okay, so it at least works. That's pretty good. This car has some serious steering issues. What was the change the car? Backspace. Look at this monstrosity. Carla Cola. Nice. Ooh, that's not a car. It's a bicycle. I'm in gear 2. This is crazy. Okay, so there's lots of cars, apparently, that we... Oh, bicycle again? Lots of cars and bicycles, apparently. Ooh, a Ford Mustang. This has some get up and go as well. Wish this had noise, like sound, but I don't think it does. Oh, dear. Oh, gosh. That didn't go well. Okay, so enough playing around. You guys can drive if you want. It looks okay. I wish the driving physics were a little better. That was one somewhat nice thing about... Obviously, Grand Theft Auto driving physics aren't spectacular, but I would say they're better than this. But this is not terrible. It's not terrible, and really what you're trying to work on is that vision task. Ooh! Oh, I think I missed him. Nice. Look at the little smart car, though. That's cute. It's adorable. I like that it knows when it's crossed all those things. So like my hope and objective is, one, we can detect a collision. So I've for a long time wanted to do reinforcement learning. So anytime, I'm not going to care if we cross a line, but if we collide with something, that's a bad thing. So that's pretty cool. We can use that as a penalty event. We can know how fast we're going. I don't really actually want to make a self-driving car that someone would actually use. I like a really fast self-driving car. So that's always been my goal. So maybe I can do that with this, but that's pretty cool. So, closing out of that, let me see. So we've made it this far. I might just cut it here, and then in the next tutorial we could start going with you know, how to actually control the car and all of that. Like, I'd like to load in and actually control the car, and maybe in the next, I don't even know, I have no plans what I'm going to do. I'm just kind of poking around at this stage. But look in here, this is like a Pi tutorial. It looks like here we connect to the client. Cool. Blueprint library. So I'm guessing blueprint, random choice. Okay, so that's for the vehicle. If it has the attribute color, change it. Cool. Spawn actor is the blueprint. Okay, so that's how we make our vehicle. Easy enough. Set autopilot to true. A depth camera attached to the vehicle. Okay. Doesn't like the location we gave to the vehicle. I don't know what that's about. And then here we're adding NPCs to the city. Okay. Cool. So let me just run that tutorial example. CMD pi-37. What was that? Tutorial.py. So it created all those vehicles. And ourselves. And for some reason, we don't actually see a render. Oh, it's done. Oh, destroying actors and then done. Yeah, so, okay. So it creates it for 5 seconds, I guess, and then we're done. So we'd probably want like some sort of loop. Okay, so probably what I'm going to do is just kind of poke around further. Probably what I'm going to do is poke around further with like the Python API tutorial. And I think probably what I would like to do is just simply create a vehicle and just drive that vehicle, like just create the vehicle and then just drive it forward. And then just to see if we can do it. And then we want to get the sensor data and probably just have like a hood camera. There are other sensors like LiDAR and stuff like that, and maybe later we can use those, but for now I just really want that hood camera. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start with tutorial.py, kind of dumb it down. So for example, I would just get rid of the creation of all the other vehicles and just have our one car. That way, because apparently that only spawned our city, which is this, but I think this city is dead now. Like, I don't think anything's running. It's also kind of blurry. I'm not really sure why that's happening. Anyway, I think nothing's actually happening there. So I just want to spawn the one car and let's just have it drive it forward and make sure we can control the car. And then from there, what I'd like to do is try to do some sort of reinforcement learning situation. So that's what we'll do in the next video. If you've got questions, comments, concerns, whatever, you know the deal. Feel free to leave them below. Shouts out to my most recent, or actually not my most recent. These are long-term channel members, 4, 5, and 6 months. We've got Eric Gomez, Robo, AJ Kumar, Payman Sayadi, all in for 6 months. Chris Olin, Frederick Fail, Joey Santana, and Prodigy for 5 months. And coming in at 4 months, a gigantic list, Ivan Bucknick, YouTube series, Cheeky Buns with the best name ever, Frank Lloyd Jr., Omnicrux, Miguel Hurtado, Laturo Prada, Brandon Merrithew, Haoyan Guo, Trevor Hughes, and Vijay. Thank you all very much for your support. You guys are awesome. And I will see everybody in another video.